Thinking, and we're live. Hello, everyone. Good night. Good night. Good evening. It's a massive thing for HSC school leavers. I think in about a week's time, the HSC is going to be up. We thought it would be absolutely awesome to bring on the pro, a principal herself. Rosie, how are you?
I'm particularly well, Mark and Lisa. It's absolutely fabulous to be chatting with you.
You look nice and cushy where you are.
I know.
I'm actually sitting back on my lounge at home, just hanging out. I've got the street outside is full of workmen retarring the road. So I've got entertainment in front of me with you guys. I've got entertainment outside with the work guys. And, it looks like daylight out there. They've got so many lights on.
Unbelievable. Where are you, Manly, aren't you?
I am indeed.
All those men with tool belts, you'd be hating that, Rosie.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Now, it's a big one because it's a crazy time for these kids. Lisa, what do you reckon?
Yeah, so I know some of the HSC kids are finishing up already. One of our girls who works in here, her son's finishing up today. And it's always a big question, what are you going to do now that you finish school? So there's always this big emphasis, right, on the ATAR score. And then what happens if you don't get into uni? So we want to talk about the options. But Rosie, before we start talking about training, because you're from Australian College of Professionals, biggest training provider for real estate in the country, we want to talk about some of the incentives and what's involved in real estate training. But before we do, it used to be the industry that your kids would be pushed into if they were the dropouts or they failed.
Yeah, indeed.
Right?
It really was. And it was sort of, it was almost an acceptable career because you could wear a suit and you'd look like you were achieving something, and it was kind of seen as the second-rate career path. It so is not anymore. One, the educational standards have increased. The legislation just makes it that way now. That you have to know so much legislation to actually do your job on a daily basis. It's seen as such a successful industry. I mean, it's one of our greatest exports. It literally is. It runs so much of our economy.
Absolutely.
And what the property industry is.
And rightfully so that these legislations came in. So for those people that are just tuning in, they came in March, the real estate legislations, and rightfully so. We're responsible for trust money. We're selling people's property. We're managing people's property.
And there's a lot of spin-offs. Like you've got buildings spinning off property. You've got finance, mortgages spinning off property. You've got property itself. It's an industry that actually underpins a lot of the Australian economy.
But then it also runs into people the DIY industry is enormous. And, all those shows that are on TV about flipping houses and just renovating houses and so there's that whole DIY industry of getting your house ready and decluttering and the Marie Kondo of sniff it and if it gives you joy, keep it. Those sorts of concepts about what you do with your property. And
100%.
So many other industries are run off the back of it. So it is huge. And it's now seen as if you're doing well and can actually communicate with people and assist people to, all the wealth creation companies that are in there and they're all pushing on that property ladder. So, there's so many careers.
Well, that's critical too, and I think we do need to discuss that there are, when people think real estate and little Johnny failed at school and he's going to go into real estate, people often think sales. There's so many facets to real estate, right? There's the property management side, there's the leasing side, there's the administrative side, there's the accounting side, sales support,
digital creating,
and then sales. But sales seems to be the most attractive because people think that all of our salespeople drive flashy sports cars and wear shiny shoes without socks, right?
Yeah.
And so that's really attraction.
Yeah.
Hey, Rosie, how long do you reckon it's going to be before your arm dies?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've got two. And
Yeah, you can just rotate it. I think I reckon when we get to about 8 minutes, I reckon you'd be up for a rotation on that arm.
I reckon we can do that. We might just move around a bit. Did you want to see some more of my house?
Why not?
Yeah,
why not? We could sell it while we're at it.
What did you want to see?
Agreement, contract of sale without
So shotgun questions for you. I'm going to throw them at you hard and fast for school leavers. I've just left school. If I'm thinking property and I want to educate myself, what's the first thing I should do?
You've got to do your certificate of registration. There's only two choices to make here. It's the entry-level course. You either decide you want to be in sales and property management in general, traditional real estate, or you want to work in strata. So there's only two entry-level options there. Don't make that face, Mark Novak. Strata management.
What is strata to explain to these young whippersnappers?
Okay, the young oldies like us.
Yes.
Anyway.
About strata, we'll leave that aside. Just Google it, kids. Let's talk about real estate. Real.
Oh, dear.
Real.
So
what do they do? So let's hone in on that. They want to get into real estate, not strata. And what do? They call the Australian College of Professionals.
They absolutely do. And they do their entry level certificate of registration course. But I mean, it's just entry level. That's all they need to know. And it's they can do it online for $350. They can come into class for 4 days and actually get some really experienced professionals who are teaching them the legislation, teaching them the practicalities of sales and property management. $695. I know you wanted the price. Tell us the price, son.
So it's $195. So that's the entry level. So little Johnny's finished school and either has wanted his whole life or her life to be a real estate agent.
Yep.
And so they can come to you. And we're going to put a link to your college, Rosie, as well. And in 4 days, face-to-face, $695, they can get their entry-level certification into the industry, or they can do it online.
To walk into your door or any other agent's door and say, I want a job. Now, I'm actually saying I've got a certificate of registration course running in my office this week. And I actually said to the group in there, it's absolutely amazing that in 17 years of running a training college, not once have I had someone walk through my front door and say, hey, here's my resume, can I have a job? And I reckon, particularly in the property industry, if you had someone walk through your front door saying, hey, I've got my certificate of registration, I want a job, even if you didn't have a job, go, this kid is switched on. This kid wants to work.
I think
make a job for them.
As an employer, I think that
there you go.
Sure.
Can I tell you, Rosie, that is gold what you just said.
Advice.
That is great advice. Guys, don't go looking on Seek. Put yourself out there, contact the companies that you love and admire and would like to be part of that culture. And I reckon you've got a 95% chance of getting a job. I can tell you now, if someone came to us, and we do employ young guns all the time and old ones, for the record. I got in trouble when I said young, I did get in trouble a few weeks ago when I advertised for
just energy. You can be 60 and be a young gun.
Well, that's what I said.
And you can be 18 and be a young gun.
And you know what? On that, real estate is one of very, very few industries that you can get into when you're 15 and you can get out of it when you're 80. I can't think of many industries that are going to have you around for that long.
Like a pro footballer, they'll have a great 10 or 15 years, but what do you do after that? Real estate will keep you that whole way through.
It will, and it's a great industry for men and women. And again, there's not too many industries that I can think of that are going to have you around that long, where it's open to everyone, young and old, men, women. And can I just say, if any of you guys that are watching or that have children that are finishing up their HSC, it is a great industry. I would be thrilled if our children got into real estate. It really is. It's a wonderful, wonderful industry.
It's a lifestyle business, as in it's not easy on the hours, but it's a lifestyle business that if you had to pick your kids up from school, drop them off to school, stay local, you're not in the city, we're traveling for 2 hours. It's a good lifestyle that way, but it is definitely a lot of hard work, guys. Now, Rosie, if these guys come into your college, they're dropping $695 and they don't go into the real estate industry, what they will have is they'll have an acute knowledge of what actually it encompasses, yeah? Because that 4-day course, you talk about all the different aspects.
We teach so much. I mean, and it's actually skills that any person needs for life. And it's, we get loads of university students who come and just do it. So it's the knowledge that they have. It's about knowing how to deal with rentals, knowing how to, make an offer on a property, knowing the legislation around what is the difference between strata title and Torrens title.
Yep.
And, and knowing what that actually means. And, there's not many 17, 18-year-old that actually knows what strata is. And then when you say, all the blocks of units around your place, yeah. Oh, that's strata. And they, it suddenly starts to sink in, and then they get the real knowledge about that. So they know what agents know. They know it's life skills, and they don't use it for a career.
Jennifer Chambers, you might see the comment on the screen. Jennifer Chambers says, "You look great for 80." Yes, you're right, Jennifer. You do.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Grandma Rosie looks great. You're right.
So, Rosie, that's the entry level into real estate. So, guys, for those of you that have just tuned in, we've got Rosy Sullivan here. Rosie's the principal of the Australian College of Professionals, largest training provider for real estate agents or anyone looking to get into the real estate industry in the country. So we're talking about entry-level qualifications into real estate. So certificate of registration, that's your entry level, but you want to really cut it in sales. So you've admired someone in the real estate industry and you want to be the gun agent. You need more than that now?
You do. Well, the legislation now is that you actually have to work your way through towards a license, which is not only, giving you an opportunity to earn more, it's actually also giving you all of that additional information and knowledge and competence that actually allows you to go out there and use all your skills. Look, there's a difference. There's the compliance and the competence and the legislation that you need to know, and then there's all of those skills that you need to get out there with the energy and the enthusiasm and actually become a part of an industry, an enormous industry in Australia. So there's two sides to training. And you guys know that better than anyone because, one, you have all the compliance training, but two, you also have all of the, you guys do so much extra training about those additional, and I often refer to them as the rah-rah skills. But it's about that stuff that gets you going in your guts that says, I can do this, and putting all of that knowledge and legislation and compliance that you've got into reality to help people get where they need to get. So helping people rent, helping people manage their properties, helping people buy and sell. So, all of that is what they get by going through first their license and then the reality of being an agent.
Now, if you've just tuned in live, feel free to ask Rosie any questions live. We will answer them live as well. Next question.
Okay, so we're talking about, specifically tonight, we're talking about HSC students who are finishing up their HSC. They don't know what they're going to do. This is a great foot in the door start into real estate, right? Property management, sales, whatever it may be. However, you're not just training people that are finishing school, right? You can get into this industry at any age, and I know that only too well because I jumped into sales at 46. So, you're offering courses for us old people as well?
It absolutely does not matter what age you are. 16 is the time you can actually get in. We had the lovely talking to a mum of a kid up in Tamworth last week whose son is in year 10 and, wanting to get into to be a stock and station agent. So real estate, but in the country, Mark. There's your definition. And this is where he wants to be, and he knows it at this age. Not every kid knows that, and they need to get into that. But for HSC leavers, I had an HSC leaver in my office this afternoon. She finished her exams last Friday. She is going to university, but she wants some other things along the way. And even for the kids that are going through uni, this is a job that they can pick up bits and pieces along the way. And you know what? Property market gets under your skin and it may never leave.
Isn't that the truth? And can I just say, sorry, Mark, I didn't want to intervene. He's got no hope with 2 women on tonight.
Mark, you may as well leave now, darling.
But, can I just say that, the hardest question I think for a 17, 18-year-old to answer is, what are you going to do when you finish school? I only just worked it out at 46.
I'm happy that you walked over me on
I
that one. That's good.
I only just worked it out at 46. So can I just say to you guys that are watching, or the parents of the kids that are watching, it's such a high expectation to assume that at 17 or 18, you know what you're going to do when you leave school.
Yeah.
If you don't know and you don't want to go to uni and do a Bachelor of Arts, then go and study something like this. Wouldn't you say, Rosie? Because as you mentioned earlier, this is a great entry level into real estate. And if you don't use it, you've only wasted 4 days of your life, right? As opposed to 4 years doing a uni degree.
How's that arm going, Rosie? How's that arm?
Just fine, thank you, Mr.
Fine.
Novak.
You're not struggling holding that phone up.
No, we're going just fine.
You can walk around if you need to. We don't mind.
It is a lot. Look, these kids, guys, we can't forget. And if for anyone who's watching, you don't know who you're going to marry. You don't know where you're going to live. You don't know what you're going to do for a job. You don't know if you're going to be okay. You don't this is the age at 17 or 18. It's the year of I don't know. Yeah. So, I think that certainty and it's okay. It's okay if you don't know. It's actually, that's generally that year of what you just don't know. So I think getting into real estate's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's definitely, and we're always good if you want to have a chat. Like, people think as real estate agents or people like running a college like yourself, us professionals are always up to have a light chat if we can help people. It doesn't have to be dollar productive. Yep. So always picking up that phone call and saying, hey, I'm considering studying with you guys, or picking up that phone call with our agency, even just walking in, having a chat with front of house with or just asking to speak to someone, it's not a problem. Come to an open house, it's not a problem.
100%. Rosie, can I ask you something? Because I think the scariest thing for a lot of kids that are finishing school, or young adults that are finishing school, is that it's going to be hard. It's just going to be hard because they're used to being guided and led the whole way through school, and then they get out there on their own. Would you say that the certificate of registration is a hard course, like on a scale of 1 to 10?
Well, I actually think it's really straightforward because we have manuals that give them all of the information. There's no exams. I actually don't believe in exams, and I get the final say because I'm the college principal. So we don't have exams. And
how were you when I was at school?
We got exams at school, and you get exams at university. But this is vocational education. This is about reality. This is about we want these people that leave our college to know that when they come and work for you, that they're not going to get themselves into trouble and they're not going to get you into trouble. So they need to know how to do their job on a daily basis. So the course they need to do needs to be really, really practical. So it's about getting hands-on. So there's some, true, false and multiple choice questions and all of those sorts of things. But on top of that, there's, practical projects, fill in this form. Go and, one of our assessments for that first entry level course is to actually go and contact an agent. So they have to literally go and pick up the phone or walk in a door and say, hey,
I love that.
Can I make an appointment? And, I have a series of questions to ask you. We've given them the questions, so they don't need to come up with them. But apart from anything else, it gets an agent to have a brand new fresh person in front of them, and whether they're 16, 17, 18 or 58, it doesn't matter. And
I love that. Can I just say that,
Can I get that one question?
Mark wants to ask a question. Shall we let him ask a question?
One, sorry.
Really, okay, just a quick one, Mark.
We'll let him intervene. He's trying to come in between two blondes. I don't know what he's thinking.
I don't even know why he's trying.
There are incentives out there from the government to employers. So just to understand that these kids are not only probably out of any age, probably at the cheapest. They're cheap labour. It sounds awful, they are chiseling out a career. But not only that, the government will pay employers and pay these kids to educate themselves as well.
Absolutely.
And I think there's got to be the expectation, like a trade. If you want to be an electrician, you're going to have to dedicate 4 years. If you're going to be getting into real estate, you're going to have to dedicate some couple of years to chiseling out your career.
Yeah.
What are the incentives out there to these young bucks?
Well, look, if a person, and again, this is not about age. This is over 15. So again, you could be 58 and 68 and get but this is if you get a job first. So somebody came to you and they didn't have their certificate of registration yet, and you said, okay, well, we're willing to take you on. Let's get you this. If you signed them up to a government-funded traineeship, that $695 is off the table. They get the whole of their qualification, entry level, and then all the way through for the next couple of years till they get a license for $0. So the government actually pays me as the college. They pay you as the employer. Not everybody is eligible. Depending if they're straight out of school, they're absolutely eligible. If they're 58 and they've done a few other different things or different courses, then they may not be.
Yep.
But there's $4,000 for the employer. At this very moment, and probably only open for the next month or so, is if you take on somebody brand new and you put them into one of these traineeships, the employer will earn up to 50% of that employee's wages in a wage subsidy, which is a Commonwealth government incentive to get our economy going again after, as a response to COVID.
Yeah, that is incredible.
That's massive.
Honestly, incredible. So can we just recap here for those of you guys that are just tuning in? There is really not a lot involved if you just want to get your basic qualification into real estate. Okay, so at the very least, it's a 4-day course. You can do it online or face-to-face. Face-to-face is going to take you a little bit longer, only by a couple of days by the sounds of it, and that's going to be your entry level in. Just go and knock on the door of a real estate agency that you love and admire and see if they've got something for you. We've had some phenomenal people that have come through our organisation that started with us when they were young, straight out of school, many of them.
15.
Angelo Gutsios was one of them. Angelo is still with us now and has been here with our agency for 17 years. He came to us fresh out of school and he's now one of the best agents you will find.
And
so,
what's really scary about this? I remember when he started with you.
Wow.
I know, it's crazy, right?
Wow.
But that's the thing. You find a great company and they're going to train you and it's going to be hard work, but hustle beats talent. So hustle your way in, guys, because it will be worth it. We've got many kids. I've got a new assistant at the moment, fresh out of school, never had a job. You know, he's going to get some of the best training. He's just trained with you, Rosie. He's just done his certificate of registration with you. He's going to get the best training that money can't buy, I can assure you.
Yeah, well said.
You know, here at our agency. So he's being thrown around, and I said to him, he said, what do I need to be? What advice can you give me? And I said to him, are you ready for it? It's this hard and it's this simple. Just turn up every day for the rest of your life. That's all you've got to do. We'll look after the rest. You just turn up. We'll train you, we'll mold you. It'll be a wonderful roller coaster ride. All you've got to do at the moment is just turn up.
Yep.
Yeah. Not a big deal, really, is it?
And that's it. And I think, it is an awesome industry that, as we mentioned, you can get into when you're just finishing your HSC and you don't know what you want to do. The most you're going to outlay is 4 days. And how much money, Rosie?
$695.
$695.
Unless they get in on a government, traineeship prior to that.
Okay, so sorry, how do they get that?
Zero.
How do they get that?
Great.
Well, they have to have a job to get that
Getting
one.
a job
They have
first.
to
Okay.
identify that they've got a job.
And another one. Sorry, Rose.
Yeah, go on.
Sorry, I'd let you finish. I just cut in because I got a bit excited.
No, well, what it is just if they've got a job and they're ready to start in that job, then they get signed up. You, the employer, sign. We, the college, sign. The new employee signs, and the government signs, and it's for $0. So that is the absolute no-brainer. And again, it doesn't matter how old you are. Over 15, we're done. We're in. Okay. So and that's the $0. Then we've got we're a government-approved provider of training, and have been, feels like forever. And there's lots of other ways of getting funding. It just depends on the individual. What they walk in with, then we find them the right government-funded program for that.
Yeah. Can I just say as well, Mark's going to have to put his hand up. Can I just say as well, there are so many other colleges out there. Guys, make no mistake. Do not go for the cheap, quick, out of the cereal box certification. Okay, I can tell you now, we've looked long and hard. And this is certainly not an advertorial, Rosie, for your organisation, although it will be, because, there's many organisations out there. Make sure if you're going to get the training, guys, you're not talking about a whole lot of money to go through the best. So make sure you spend it wisely. We will look at that. Trust me, if you've gone and gotten your certification, we're happy to bring you on and train you. But if you've gone and gotten your certification from someone that we don't respect or recognise, then we'll make you do it again. So just go and get it done, and get it done right. These guys are the ones that you need to be going to. I can see there's a few people on here. Ronnie, how are you? Ronnie's saying ACOP are fantastic. They go above and beyond. 100% couldn't agree more.
I love our students.
Rosie, quick question.
Hang on, somehow I've just lost you.
Oh, it's okay. I can hear you though. That's fine. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. I just need to find where you've gone.
Yeah, that's fine. Now, let's talk while you're searching. When kids are in year 10, can they still do the education? I guess that's a no. And Rosie's left the building.
Oh, Rosie left the building. What happened to poor Rosie?
Because another thing as well, Lisa, we've had a lot of young kids come in and do. Here comes Rosie. She's back.
Am I back? I'm back.
We got.
So Rosie, with kids, we've had kids come out of year 10. They're still studying. They're doing the school certificate year 10. Yeah. They have a Saturday job here. They've worked with us for 2 years, then got a full-time job here. That happens in our business as well. Can the kids do something as a replacement module in the HSC or from year 10?
Yeah, no, they actually can't. It's for what they call TVET students at a Certificate 4 level, which is what the real estate qualification is too high a level. You're pushing it if you go to a Certificate 3. They prefer the Certificate 1s and 2s, which is not real estate. Real estate is a higher level because there's a lot of legislation in here. So it's kind of, they need to do that either outside in their own time.
Yeah.
But it's not a school. Often schools will facilitate them doing that.
Yep.
But it's not one of those approved, what's referred to as a TVET.
A great way to find out whether you like real estate or not is if you want to do I think they used to call them Girl Fridays. What was that name of in the old?
He's getting old.
Yeah, it's bad.
Getting old.
But they used
Girl
to
Saturday. I don't know what you do on Friday, but I think they were called Girl Saturday.
Or we can just say that they were fantastically talented young assistants.
Boy Friday.
That's right. But, can I also just say work experience is a great way to get your foot in the door. We take on a lot. We've had some awesome school kids come through here on work experience that have ended up getting jobs here. We're just employing one now full-time, Mark.
Yep.
Yeah.
But, we've had some great kids coming through here for work experience. They work out they love it or hate it, which is what work experience is all about. And we work out if we want to actually employ them once they finish school or if we want to
both get to have a look at each other from either side and go size each other up and go, this is
both ways.
Where I want to be or not.
Yeah, that's it. I agree.
So to summarise on today before we wind out, it's not an expensive process for kids to come and see you to educate themselves once they finish the HSC. It's an opportunity.
It's not scary. It is not scary. We look after people.
I love that.
It's just not scary. And it doesn't matter whether you're 15 or whether you're 55. It's just, it's practical.
I love that because coming out of school is scary enough.
Yes.
I remember the first day we dropped our daughter off to university when she started. It's this and not bagging universities whatsoever. I'm all for getting degrees if that's your thing. But dropping her off was the most daunting experience. She sat in the car for an hour until I said, look, you'll work it out. You'll get your way around. That's scary, right? There's no one there to meet you at the gate to show you around. I love the fact that people can just dip their toes in, get a quick little certification, 4 days, not a huge amount of money. I'm sure mum and dad might spot you the money just to help you out, and then you can pay them back once you hopefully get the job. And, and look, let's face it, it is an awesome, awesome industry.
It's a cracker. It's an industry that can cater to any of your needs. If you want to be the juggernaut superstar, earning a fortune and sacrificing everything for it, you can. If you want to be a administration style person while you're still picking up the kids from school and dropping the kids off to school and doing a 5-day week, you can do it. There's all different spectrums in our industry.
So it's like everything else. Like when we all left school, and I'm older than you guys are, but there was kind of one job, one type of career in one, in that industry, and then there was another one in another industry, and and that was it. And now there's so many, even just in the property industry, there's tens and tens and probably hundreds of different angles you can take on those jobs.
Yeah, but I love what you said, Rosie. It's not scary. That's right. And, honestly, you guys are amazing, amazing. And that's why so many people are saying such great things about you. We will put a link to Rosie's college, Australian College of Professionals. The certification, the lead-in certification is super easy to do, guys. You heard what Rosie said. There aren't any exams for that lead-in qualification. You will need it to get your foot in the door into the industry. It's not overly expensive. And believe me, it can give you a career for life. As I said at the beginning of the show, you can be working in this until you're 80 years old, although I'm not sure I would like to be. But you could.
I have students who are older.
And
do their professional development. We've got one fellow up in the far north coast who's 93.
I love that. Has he been your oldest student?
He is our oldest student, and we love it.
Rosie, what's the website?
He's decided he wants to do a webinar this year for his professional development, and I tell you what, he's embracing it. Slowly, but he's embracing it.
What a legend. What a legend.
What's your website?
ACOP.
Yep.
.edu.au.
edu.au. Great. I'm just going to whack that up there for everyone to
all right, guys, I think that's a wrap. Rosie, thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure.
This is great advice if you are an HSC student, if you're a parent, a friend, an auntie, an uncle, a grandparent of an HSC student. Guys, don't be scared. There's plenty of opportunities. Real estate is an awesome career. It's not just for the dropouts. It's not just for the failures. I think hopefully we're testament of that. It's a wonderful career. We're going to help you guys out with some training. And we're going to pop that website at the bottom of this chat. It's up there now. It's on there now. And for those of you guys that might just want to dip your toes in, reach out to a real estate agency in your area. I think you'll be surprised. They will most likely welcome you with open arms.
Yeah. Be excited and go chase your dreams.
And Lisa and
100%.
Rosie, thank you for letting me talk tonight as well. I really appreciate it.
All right, now get off.
You can have 2 minutes in any one of our chats, Mark. 2 minutes.
I love it. Rosie, have an awesome week. Good luck for the cup tomorrow. No doubt there'll be a couple of beverages involved.
Yeah, possibly. I might even come and join you guys.
Sounds like a good idea. We'll see you then.
All right.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Great
week,
Good night.
everyone. See ya. Bye.